about postpartum care, the conversation too often stops at the checklist for the baby. Feeding schedule, diaper changes, sleep patterns. But what about the mother? What about her body, her mind, and her heart after one of the most life-changing events that she can ever experience? Today's guest has made it her mission to change the narrative. Connie Brandt, a registered nurse with over 20 years of experience in postpartum and infant care, knows firsthand the challenges that new mothers face because she lived them. From becoming a teen mom herself to navigating postpartum as an adult, Connie experienced the overwhelm, the loneliness, and the unspoken struggles that too many mothers endure in silence. She turned those experiences into a calling, creating a safe haven where mothers can rest, recover, be cared for without judgment or pressure. Now, coming soon at the Sandman Signature Hotel in Frisco, in Texas, Connie is launching the Embrace Postnatal Retreat, a sanctuary that blends expert-led workshops, hands-on classes, spa-like treatment, and a community of support designed for both seasoned and new mothers. Unlike traditional care models that focus solely on the baby, Embrace puts the mother at the center because of her healing matter. With postpartum depression affecting nearly 1 in 7 women and many going undiagnosed, Connie is on a mission to ensure that no mother feels unseen, unheard, or unsupported. Her vision is pretty simple, but very powerful: to redefine postpartum care one mama at a time. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are ready for the goodness, the golden nuggets, and the information that you're about to receive exclusively with me, Connie Brandt. How you doing, sis?
Hey, how are you doing, Ollie? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We are super excited because, my wife is a mom of 2. My mom is a mom. My sister is a mom. And I have many moms around that may have never even realized of the information that you're going to share with us today, that even at any point of their motherhood, 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, they may be still dealing with some traumatic emotions from that experience. And I am so excited that we get to have this conversation with you. Before we get into the golden nuggets, I would love if you can take a little bit of a moment and take us back where you knew that you wanted to create Embrace Postnatal Retreat.
Okay, so what's led me to start up Embrace was I went through a period in my time where I felt like, I knew that my life as a nurse wasn't just to be a staff nurse at a hospital. I knew I wanted to make a difference. I knew I wanted to help other mothers, and I wanted to also find a way to give back to, even teenage moms, single moms, but just, moms in general. And I really went through a phase of trying to discover my purpose. I'm very spiritual, so I felt like I went over and, really prayed about, what my calling was. And in my heart, I just felt like, okay, so I left the postpartum world for a couple years, doing other nursing things, but then the Lord brought me back to medical, city where I currently am a registered nurse, mother baby nurse. And after doing that and praying about it, I felt like the reason I was brought back was because I needed to refocus on postpartum care. And so with that being said, I went over and wanted to create a space for moms to be able to come and receive the extra support. Working in the hospital, I definitely have seen the challenges that a lot of moms go through and the anxiety, overwhelmingness, and even, little scared faces of especially first time moms, as they transition to go home. While they're in the hospital, I know bombard them with a bunch of education and things they need to learn, things they need to do, help them with, breastfeeding, bottle feeding, self-care, things like that, and what to expect now that they've delivered the baby. And I know a lot of that is just overwhelming. And so when they leave the
Especially,
hospital,
especially in a matter of 3 days, like
yes,
I remember when my wife and I mean, we have a beautiful 8-year-old and an almost 5-year-old now. But I remember in the hospital, and it's like every hour somebody else is coming. And here's what you do next, and here's what you do next, and here's what I'm like. You're telling me how I'm gonna learn how to take care of this baby in 3 days, so it could be overwhelming.
Exactly. That's why I
Yeah.
always tell even my patients now that, try to get a little bit of rest because I know in the hospital you do not get rest. And so I felt like, everything that a mother is supposed to be taught within the 2 or 3 days that they're there, um, it just becomes overwhelming. And a lot of
Yeah.
times they don't retain that, education that they need to transition, to their home setting with their baby. So with Embrace, my goal is to offer that bridge to the gap of, helping making moms more confident in taking care of their babies, and also teaching them the skills and things that they need to know, so they can, feel confident in what they're doing when they bring their babies home. But at the same time, I also feel like when the baby's born, everybody focuses on the baby.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to come see the baby, and mom is sitting
Totally
there.
ignore the mom.
Yes, exactly. So with that, also being said, we want to definitely, pamper mom a little bit and give her a little bit of TLC by providing a quiet, restful, peaceful place that they can come and get some rest so they can recover. They
Yeah.
can also get additional spa-like treatments to get a little bit of pampering to feel loved on.
I love it. How did your personal experience or experiences, both as a teen mom, as an adult mom as well, shape your vision for Embrace? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of what you've experienced kind of gave you an idea. Maybe there's other moms that are going through.
I think as a teen mom, of course, I had my first year after, graduated from high school. And then I right away moved away from home 2 months after she was born. So I right away jumped into being a
An adult.
partner, future wife, yes, mother, everything all at once. So, and not having, I had my husband's family here, but they didn't have, babies. So it was just a big learning curve, for me especially, but just for everybody involved, as I transitioned over here to Dallas. And I just felt like the support that I needed, I, desperately tried to seek it, and trying to, of course, now, with social media, you can find all sorts of groups, but back then it was just kind of, let me see what I can, maybe find online. And I mean, there was really nothing that I could find, and I just felt definitely alone. I was probably going through postpartum depression because I know I cried a lot, whether it be because I didn't have the support, because I wasn't near my family. But then also in the sense that if the baby cried, I cried because I didn't know what to do. And just trying to figure out, those things to, be the best mom I could be, as a teenager.
Too often, postpartum care focuses on the baby, leaving mothers overlooked. Embrace Postnatal Retreat is changing that. Founded by registered nurse Connie Brandt, Embrace offers a sanctuary where mothers can rest, recover, and connect without guilt or judgment. With expert-led workshops, spa-like treatments, and a community of support, we're redefining postpartum healing, one mama at a time. Register now at embracepostnatal.com.
Yeah, many people, I feel like me, whether you're a health professional or just an everyday human being like myself, we know that there are healthcare gaps. We know that there are things that are missing for a new mom. We know that there's real stress, and we tend to just move on and not act on it. We tend to just be like, oh, it's normal. Well, it's really completely abnormal for a mother to experience that, especially for the very first time. What made you take that leap and act on these real issues versus just being like, I'm continuing with my career and just keeping moving on? We know these real issues that these new moms are having, and most of us, including our doctors, just gives a prescription or says you just need to rest more and move on. What made you say, I'm going to take an alternative route and create something that doesn't exist for these real issues?
I mean, again, I think it's just, I mean, even, going back to just experiencing motherhood as an adult, and that was, in my 30s that I had my second child. And I know the experiences were definitely different, but even just being an adult and more educated, and even then I was a postpartum nurse already, I still felt a lot of the things that I felt even as the first time mom. And so just, trying to find,
That's
something to help.
interesting. Wait, hold on. Let me dive into that for a little bit. So you're saying teen mom Connie versus healthcare educated in the space itself, 30 in your 30s mom, and you still felt the same exact experiences from both pregnancies. How
Yeah.
how is that possible, or is there a deeper issue that you feel like needs to be addressed than just the pregnancy itself?
Um, I think for me, it was more of the, I mean, I don't want to say I felt alone, I mean, because I know that I had my family support, but I think as a mother, you just want to be the best mother you can be to your child. I just felt like still, even as I was trying to be the best I could be, I still felt like I wasn't enough and I didn't know enough to
Wow.
um, take care of my baby. I mean, I know I did a good job, but there was always that piece of me that felt I could do better. And if I,
And that adds pressure.
yes,
That's a lot of pressure. I mean, could you imagine you just sacrificed your body for the last 9, 10 months and still ongoing it and gone through the most excruciating physical experience, and you're still saying, "Yeah, I didn't do enough." Like that. That is a process that you have to go through, and that's interesting that you're breaking down it. And I appreciate you even bringing it to light, because again, that's what I mean when I say we understand how traumatic and how physically painful this experience is. And we, people, family, husbands, boyfriend, whatever we may be, are like, it's normal. That's life. Yeah, it may be life, but you do understand how horrible of a life experience physically a mom just gone through. And then we just go back to our lives as if nothing abnormal to see here, folks. Carry on. But it's the most life-changing experience that you would experience.
right. And I
Yeah.
think every mother, just because, I think society, as being a mother in today's world, we wear a lot of hats, and every mom's, personal life is
13
different.
jobs in one body.
Yes. And so for me, it was, having the new baby, trying to get through school, work full time, be a wife, be a mother, um, and just everything that, came with, wearing
It's
all those
crazy.
hats. It was just,
Yeah.
it can
Yeah.
be, a lot. And obviously, at the time of having a newborn, in the mix of all that definitely can overwhelm you. And
I
I mean,
bet.
for me, even just go through a time of depression, feeling,
Yeah. Yeah.
alone, not enough.
That's interesting that you broke it down like that. All right, well, let's get into the retreat itself, right? So, what can mothers expect when they walk through the doors of the Embrace Postnatal Retreat? What is my very first impression? What am I expecting as a mom?
Well, I hope that once they walk in, they will right away experience a sense of welcoming from our staff, but also a sense of peace once they arrive in their room, a place where they can take a deep breath and know that it's going to be okay, and that they're going to get the support that they need and the education that they need while they're with us. Um, I, want to make sure that, they feel, comfortable, that they feel heard, that they feel seen, and whatever we can do to, help support them. I want to make sure that, those resources and those different, support umbrellas are there to help, support the mom.
Too often, postpartum care focuses on the baby leaving mothers overlooked. Embrace Postnatal Retreat is changing that. Founded by registered nurse Connie Brandt, Embrace offers a sanctuary where mothers can rest, recover, and connect without guilt or judgment. With expert-led workshops, spa-like treatments, and a community of support, we're redefining postpartum healing, one mama at a time. Register now at embracepostnatal.com.
What you're doing as well, you're creating a hands-on process. You're not sending people to solitude. You're not like go and disconnect from the world. No, you're actually like truly catering for the mom from A to Z, making her feel relevant, important. And I think that recultivates the mental health side of things, of feeling enough, feeling good enough, feeling worthy enough of that treatment. And I love that. You're offering a few options for moms, right? You got the full day, you got the half day, you got the overnight options, you got a couple of the options. Talk to us a little bit about the different models that you have, and how flexible it is for different moms and their needs.
Yes. So, again, just with the postpartum retreats being a little bit or becoming trendy just here in the U.S. here lately, I've researched a bunch of the models and just kind of seen, what all they offer, and and everything that's included in their packages and stuff. But for me, I felt like I definitely wanted Embrace to be a place where every mom had an opportunity to be embraced by us. I felt like, I know that with it being a retreat type setting, a lot of this is not covered by insurance. So it is something that, moms would have to pay out of pocket. And I wanted it to be affordable to all moms and not just those that were able to afford something like this. So with offering the full day packages, gives, and half day packages gives the moms, different options in regards to being able to purchase something that fits their budget. But then again, we also offer the full package of overnight, care and support for those that, would like to have, the full weekend of support.
Yeah. And the interesting thing, ladies, specifically, but the gentlemen who are in their lives, because there's two of you who are responsible for making her a mom, right?
Yeah.
When Connie and I talked for the very first time, and I was just kind of giving her some of my feedback, and I was like, look, we got to look for the ideal client avatar. And I think you got to look into areas where people are already spending a lot of money, and she insisted on like, no, I want to create it for the everyday average, person, not just for the people who have the money. And I appreciated that because again, I'm looking at it from a business perspective, right? Like, let's look up profits and losses, marketing, assets. And she's like, no, but I'm doing it for the impact, not just for profit and losses. And, that's something that was remarkable for me to be like, wait, hold on, this isn't a business for her, though it is, but it's more than that. It's also about creating an impact as well, which that was definitely something, that not only I appreciate, but it was an eye opener. We talk about expert-led workshops or, whether it's physical or emotional recovery. Give us an idea of maybe some of the expert-led workshops that you're creating or, what are the physical or emotional recovery processes that you use for moms?
So what I'm looking to bring into the retreats is different resources that moms can look into to help them, recover or on their journey, through postpartum. So the big one is, the mental health side of it. So I'm in talks and partnering with different mental health companies to come and be part of Embrace to, be a resource and also a support partner for our moms, for those, that are dealing with any kind of, postpartum depression, but then also, looking to partner with doulas, infant care specialists, chiropractic services. That's really popular right now. A lot of moms and babies are getting adjusted like right after having the baby. So I think that's a great resource and it makes a lot of sense to me. Also like pelvic floor therapy, having babies, if you're a woman, that just isn't the same after having a baby. So pelvic floor therapy is really important. Also partnering with just, different, resources that I can connect the moms with. So that way they have a connection, with somebody that can hopefully help them along their journey, through postpartum. And also the main important partnerships that we have is lactation consultants. A lot of, moms breastfeed, and that is a very challenging part of, having a baby because it's not always easy. So I'm in contact with a lot of lactation consultants that want to be a part of the retreat to help give our moms the support that they need with breastfeeding.
And I, it's as again, those are like little things that we take for granted. Like, I remember my wife struggled with breastfeeding. Right. Like where it was like, oh, well, maybe you should use the pump. But it was such an emotional and vulnerable thing for her. Like she wanted the actual physical interaction with the baby. She's like, no, but I want to have the physical interaction. It's such an important piece of the mental health side of a mom. And I appreciate that. Going into or staying into that mental health segue, the statistic of 1 out of 7 new moms or moms in general dealing with postpartum depression is alarming. and many of them going undiagnosed is even scarier, right? So
Um,
what, from your professional day to day to, the studies that you've done to what you will create in a retreat, what do you think is that missing piece that could make a dent on lowering those numbers?
I definitely think it's the support. I mean, if moms knew of resources where they could come and get that support and even just build community with other moms that are going through the same journey, I think those are two big factors that, can help moms feel not alone, but also have, other moms or even just, a place to come to, be able to express those feelings and talk about it. And then hopefully be able to find a resource or even a mommy friend that can, you can open up to and share those feelings with and know that they're not alone. And that they, this can be the beautiful experience of motherhood and not be a lonely experience where you're going, into depression and feeling like, it's saddening, to be
That's
mom.
interesting. Yeah. So what? Why? And again, I'm just curious because I'm not educated in this field, and I feel like that Jamari James, a buddy of mine, always says ignorance is $1 billion industry, and I agree with him 100% because we don't know, and we end up spending our time, energy, and money on the wrong things, right? Like giving mom a Louis Vuitton purse to make her feel better, be like, here's a gift, but in reality, she just felt lonely and she needed a little bit more than just a physical, materialistic thing. In your experience, why do so many moms feel isolated after birth? Even when they have family around them, they still have this sense of I'm all alone in this journey. Is there an answer to that, or is just unfortunately the way we are kind of groomed as humans?
Um, well, I mean, I think different things can play into why moms feel lonely or isolated or maybe not supported. I know even just yesterday, I had a class and there was a dad there and he's like, I mean, and he was being true. He said, so what do I do? But, even just, as the husband or as the, father, there's so many things a dad can do to help, the mom feel supported. And it could be the simplest things of making sure she has like, her water pitcher filled up, a snack basket, nearby. Because a lot of times, as a mom, you're so tired, you forget to eat and drink and take care of yourself. Or even just if you're breast pump or breastfeeding, wash the bottles, help with, getting the pillows set up for breastfeeding or feeding the baby. Or even just, as a friend, I know a lot of times, again, everybody wants to come see the baby, but, a lot of times if you have a friend that can maybe coordinate, like a meal train, to schedule, not for everybody to come at once, but to say, okay, she could really use this, if you want to bring this over for mom. But again, just having, that support and it's just the little things that I think can make a big difference in making mom feel, supported and heard and not so alone and isolated.
Too often, postpartum care focuses on the baby leaving mothers overlooked. Embrace Postnatal Retreat is changing that. Founded by registered nurse Connie Brandt, Embrace offers a sanctuary where mothers can rest, recover, and connect without guilt or judgment. With expert-led workshops, spa-like treatments, and a community of support, we're redefining postpartum healing, one mama at a time. Register now at embracepostnatal.com.
No, I love that. Let's dive into. You've mentioned earlier, it's becoming a trend. It's no secret that it's becoming a hot thing right now, and a lot of retreats are, global even. What makes Embrace different than your traditional, what's out there?
I guess just going back to, like I said, being a place where, all moms can come. I mean, I think the main factor for me is just, offering services that are affordable to all moms. I mean, that's really important to me because, I feel like if I wasn't doing this and I was pregnant and I were to see something like this come along and as much as I would love to attend something like that. And that's because, I'm educated and I feel like, make decent money. I, for myself, still would not be able to afford to go and spend probably what would be a beneficial time frame of 3 to 5 nights at a place like that. And so again, for me, it's about, making something that's accessible and affordable to the everyday mom and just being able to, touch the lives of the moms that really need the support and being the bridge for the gap to, going home with your baby
Yeah.
and just, a resource for them.
You're obviously collaborating and connecting and working with local businesses, lactation professionals, and so on and so forth. If you were to, put a message out there for those local individuals who may want to be part of your community, what is your message to them? Who is the right person to be part of the Embrace retreat and the event that you're putting together?
I definitely, want to partner with people that, and again, I don't want this to come across as sounding bad, but I want whoever's going to be involved in Embrace, um, for it not to be just about the cost or what am I getting out of it. I want people involved that are
To
truly
care.
wanting to, yes, serve others and, support other moms during their transition into motherhood.
Yeah. And you couldn't have said it any better. One of our core values, it's like, you live by the sword, you will die by the sword. Well, to us, you live by the money, you will die by the money. If you're making business decisions based on the ROI alone, which is an important piece, but that's usually for us okay, all right, now we checked everything else off, now what is the ROI, right? But
Yeah.
it's about core values, it's about, is our belief system in alignment, is our impact journey in alignment, do I trust you around my wife and my kids, like it's part of the decision. Do I see it's funny, my wife always says, I'm like, did you check if you would have a drink with them if it wasn't with business? I'm like, yeah, they passed that test too. There are these little core values that would qualify us to do business together, because the truth of the matter is, and I'm pretty sure you would agree with me, Connie, we've all have been in settings or business experiences that we would look back and say, oh my God, what was I thinking even getting in the same room with that person, how they treat people and so on and so forth. So I totally get it. And
Right.
no, you're not sounding the wrong way when you said it, but I appreciate you that you actually did say it. How do you see Embrace? Talk a little bit about your future, right? Let's get visionary on it for a little bit. How do you see Embrace influencing the broader conversation about maternal health, not only in Texas but even beyond?
Well, I've always, like my husband says, you always have such big visions, big dreams. And he always tells me when you put your mind to it, there's nothing stopping you. So my
Yeah.
vision for Embrace would be to um, have a standalone facility that offers postpartum care, um, and being able to offer day services plus overnight services. But at the same time, I would love to have some kind of branch of it that offers the services free to those moms that are in really, real need of needing the support, like the single moms or the teenage moms, and just have a part of it that gives back to the community in serving those types of moms. But yeah, I do have a big dream for this, and all I have is my faith to go on it.
Well, that's plenty. If you ask me, what do you hope each mother walks away with after attending Embrace?
I hope that when they walk away, that they feel that they were, supported. I feel that I hope that they walk away feeling more confident going home and taking care of their babies. But main thing is just, hoping that they get a sense or a time of relaxation and just an opportunity to, have their questions answered for the things that they maybe forgot to, ask in the hospital or just, again, just being a resource for them that even that they can come back to, because we will take moms all the way up through their 12-week postpartum. So I know a lot of times, moms may have, family members that come in, to stay with them for a little bit. So once they leave, then, they're there alone. And even though mom or, grandma was doing, all the things, well, now they're gone. So, hey, where do you go next? You come to Embrace, and we will help, teach you some hands-on, skills, and make sure that you're, well on your way into that transition into motherhood.
Beautiful.
Dads can come too, even at
There you go.
there are things, that dads can, also come and attend the same classes to learn those same skills. So that way you can be that support person for your wife.
Love it. Let me ask the CEO, Connie Brandt, instead of the, your sister from another mister who cares about all the moms. Where do you see this concept from a business perspective in the next 5 years? Or at least hoping to see it go?
Again, I'm hoping to have a standalone facility that offers
national or keeping it in Texas? We'll see when we cross that bridge as far as expanding, right?
Yes.
I got you. For mothers listening right now, many will relate and connect and feel, man, this is an answer to a prayer. But there's usually, a few who still going through their own unfortunate circumstances right now. They may still be feeling unseen or unsupported. What would you say that very first step that you would encourage them to take into their journey of healing or just becoming better overall?
I say come to an Embrace Retreat.
There you go. Come to an Embrace Retreat. Without a shadow of a doubt. And, let me just say, obviously our children are 5 and 8, and mom has gone through some kind of sort of therapy, like my wife, that is, over the years with me driving her crazy with my entrepreneurial mind as the third big baby. And I wish we've known about, or I wish you existed or had this concept back then, because I think it would have made a huge recovery, or just finding joy and happiness in what should be the most beautiful experience that turns, unfortunately, into a stressful circumstance, whether from a financial or a physical standpoint. But I'm grateful for you to give me this interview. I cannot wait for the world to hear and connect. For those who are listening and or watching, please, while you're driving, if you're driving, don't touch that phone. But when you're not driving, please do me a favor. Go to the description of the episode. You're going to find the website and the social media assets that would connect you directly to Connie to see how you can get the support that you need, whether come into an Embrace Retreat or just to follow her and see the value that she can offer, and maybe some other services and products and things, and just overall value that she's offering on an ongoing basis. I'm a huge fan. You heard it here at the ME Studios. We're going to do everything in our power to get the Embrace Retreat across the eyes of all those who need it. And definitely appreciate you, Connie. As we are coming to an end, I'll let you have the final word for any final message that you want to give out to new or seasoned moms. What is your final word to them?
I would just say, mommies, you don't have to be alone in this transition and in this journey. There are a lot of resources out there, and I hope that you come and attend one of our Embrace retreats so we can be there to support you and love on you and help you in this transition into motherhood.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I go by the name of Ali Mehdaoui. She is Connie Brandt, and EmbracePostnatal.com is waiting for you to check out all the goodies so you don't have to go through the most excruciating mental health or physical trauma from one of the most beautiful things that you can experience as a new or a seasoned mom. Until next time, have a blessed day, everybody.
Too often, postpartum care focuses on the baby leaving mothers overlooked. Embrace Postnatal Retreat is changing that. Founded by registered nurse Connie Brandt, Embrace offers a sanctuary where mothers can rest, recover, and connect without guilt or judgment. With expert-led workshops, spa-like treatments, and a community of support, we're redefining postpartum healing, one mama at a time. Register now at embracepostnatal.com.